There are 3 live broadcasts this week. I have explained to you respectively the overall volatility situation, so the volatility of Nvidia, it has been maintained at a high level for the past 2 or 3 days. With a rank of about, is about 35%. But from 24 hours to now, it has directly risen to the current 7.57%. Ultra high RV. In addition, let's take a look at the statistics of e-commerce companies. The RV for 7, 30, and 60 days. These 3 time points. The RV at these is currently. The implied volatility of 7 days has increased from 120% to 180% has directly crossed to about 40%. The 30 and 60-day RVs have also increased from 60 to 70%, are currently around 42%. So we can see that the entire RV is consistent with the previous 8 broadcasts analyzed in this time, because its volatility is currently very small, almost fluctuating around 0%. All the 1.8 million options. Such options, the expiration options, are almost all 0. So as a merchant, is the biggest winner on the list. On August 29, 2025. Options call is 1,300,000 and nearly 800,000 put option. The total 18 million options on the last day, almost at the ATM price, were all harvested. Probably dozens of options have been collected. Are in the hands of the real merchants? The English strategy, recommended by Bajie, almost all of them, has basically been fully understood. It's basically 100% profit. Through the analysis of Bajie before, such a straddle strategy also has almost 100% profit. Now, you can give feedback on whether my voice is normal now, and leave a clear comment in the comment section below. In addition, we can see such an RV. From the 24-hour high point, it has dropped across the market. And then, in the next 30 days, its RV will gradually fluctuate and return to a normal 35 to 40% of the RV's term structure. Let's take a look at the current RV. Let's take a look at the current gamma market. Many people say that tomorrow, in 24 hours, can they take a gamble on this and buy another doomsday after the current RV crosses the market? For example, some people want to buy 108 or 190 or 295 yuan. Can they make money? Let's first take a look how the seat merchants are betting are currently being suppressed very tightly. From 180, 182. 187.5, 190, 185, 195. There are about 60% positive odds above. If you want to make money from this, in the last 24 hours for this money, I think it's almost. The probability of making money is less than 5% or even less than 2%. It's very, very difficult. This is gamma strength. It's basically a sure win. Before this, I have reminded you 3 times in live stream not to do double or single call or single put. So currently, the exposure of gamma, the exposure time, you can see that in the doomsday waiver is currently 32% positive gamma. Next, in 2025, in September 19, 2025, in the monthly options, 30.8%. Subsequently, it will be maintained near the flat. That is to say, the recent wave of the Veda options is basically over. The last wave may be on September 19th. A very high volatility should be more or less like this. Then, in the it should be stable. Will be similar to Microsoft or Tesla's low volatility market. Let's take a look at Nvidia's RV and the actual RV. One is realized volatility, and the other is the implied volatility from the recent 2025. After the tariffs were imposed, it once reached. The realized volatility was high and the implied volatility. So if you sell volatility, you would lose a lot. At least you will lose about 200%. In addition, from the end of April, especially in mid-May, the actual RV and the implied RV have almost become a curve. What does it mean? It means that we still need to sell RV. If you sell RV, you can earn the money of the implied volatility. This is only from the current perspective of the RV. However, currently, from the blue line of the stock price of is very clear. It has been from around 100 yuan, 85 to 100, and directly rose to 185. Therefore, in this case of big technology, try not to do sell call. Never naked short sell, or naked short selling. Basically, you don't know how you died. I still recommend that friends or do a 2-legged or 4-legged strategy. Or just trade the underlying stocks. In other aspects, try not to short such a super giant. Never short sell a super giant. In addition, let's take a look at such a 9. The end of the world option 829 with a total of 1.8 million. Almost all of them are worthless because it must have a fluctuation of more than 6% to obtain a profit of 10 to 30%. Otherwise, you will almost lose money. Let's take a look at the next one. On September 19, 2025, has 1.8 million put options and 1.38 million put options. The total is nearly 3.2 million options. Options positions on September 19th. There's another huge option pressure. So, for the entire Nvidia, there are about 20 million options. Are all placed on this timeline. So we can see that, currently, Nvidia is almost entirely dominated by options. To influence the entire architecture, including its technical roadmap. In addition, we should pay attention to the news guidance it gives. And earnings guidance are related to the long-term fundamental to construct a relevant framework. So, currently, options and technical and the stock price should be very, very close. Let's take a look, such as A2 times bullish NV, which is NVDL. So, NVDL, we can see that before. Its RV rank was the same as Nvidia's. It was at about 35% percentile. On August 1st, especially in the past. In the past week or so, it was about 35%. Today, it directly reached a percentile of 7%. It is also in such ARV straddle. Extremely low volatility. It can be said our previous 3 consecutive live broadcasts. From Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to today, in the previous 3 days, my live broadcast, I was almost talking about this thing. If you have friends who have done it, or listened to it, you basically should have a profit of 80 to 95%. It's a strategy for RV cross market. In addition, we can see this NVDL in 7, 30, and 60 days. Also shows a very obvious a cross of RV. So currently, the entire market situation, everyone must pay attention, especially from the RV. We can see that in 7 days, on August 27th, it was 146% yesterday. Today, it directly dropped to 40 or 50%. Basically, 80% of the RV has ended. So this wave of implied volatility is very well done, which is also a textbook level. This is also what Baja did by recording historical data. Through 3 consecutive live broadcasts, I have shared it in detail before the market opened. If you haven't seen it, or doubt that Baja is a Monday morning quarterback, you can click on my YouTube live streaming channel to check it out. The live broadcast was always during the trading session. So we can see that Nvidia was down about 3% before the market opened. And then it rose directly to 183. And now, it has fallen to 176 in 10 minutes. And now it has returned to the zero axis. Basically, the day traders have a firm grasp. The last 24 hours, there shouldn't be any major fluctuations. It's between 177 and 182. Or it fluctuates around 180. A price fluctuation of about 2 yuan. Basically, RV is performing like this. So, today, first, it's about the most concerned stock in the world. The most important stock in Nvidia option and technical aspects, including a review and summary. I hope you have gained something, and can follow me, and learn some experience in stock market analysis. Once again, I hope friends can actively like, comment, share, and subscribe to Baja's video and give Baja the greatest support and encourage like before watching. So in the next time, let's focus on the past 24 hours. The global important FRCC fundamentals and market review. Let's review the various major asset classes of FRCC and make a simple comment. I hope you can like and watch it first. At present, there are still many netizens online. If you have any questions, you can type your questions and opinions. Type out your questions and opinions. Later, I will take time to answer your questions and views. Let's have an exchange of ideas and learn from each other. Next, let's enter the asset review. Asset review. Let's take a look at this Nvidia. Currently, I have just interpreted in detail its options and options market. So currently, basically, in the short term, and try to bet on a break above 185. I think the probability of this is less than 5%. It should be less than 5%. But if you want to take a risk, I won't object. Anyway, the money is yours. If you want to break through 177, I think the probability is also very small. The next big fluctuation will be in 919919. It's currently, let me tell you about Costco and Walmart. There's a research report that I will briefly mention. There's a research report showing that Costco and Walmart, these 2 companies, basically, their valuations are much more expensive than Nvidia's. They think this is very unreasonable. Walmart's current price-earnings ratio is 34 to 35, while Costco is around 47 to 50 times. Both are higher than Nvidia's 34 times. Compared to the past 10 years, Walmart's current price-earnings ratio is 3.3 standard deviations higher than the average, while Costco is 1.7 standard deviations higher. If the expected earnings remain unchanged, Walmart may face a 39% decline, while Costco may face a 28% decline. Why have these two stocks performed so well in recent years, have been so strong? No matter how the market falls, these two stocks are basically the anchors. Once you buy them, you don't have to worry much. Anyway, you can just ride the bandwagon. But don't be so relaxed. Let your guard down. They may face such a sharp pullback. Although it is in the US market, it has absolute pricing power. Absolute pricing power. However, it doesn't mean it will always be overvalued. It is appropriate to buy a little key support level. A put can also be used for hedging. Currently, Costco is at 950 and Walmart after the earnings report. It has dropped from over 100 to 96. It has not dropped much. So currently, let's look at the major. Silver has basically hit a new high. It's currently fluctuating between $40. Like gold before. Adjusted for more than a month. Since the release of this expectation, after the coupon, silver and gold have been almost the same. Their curves are almost the same. That is to say, each stage has its own way of playing. Some do fixed income, some trade in commodities, some trade precious metals, and some do equities. So, each trader has different asset allocations. Each trader has his own area of responsibility in the precious metals field. Currently, silver and gold are actually relatively very strong bullish. This is also Bajie's consistent view. GLD and SLV are currently ETFs for physical gold and silver. Each trader is the world's largest physical spot gold position. Spot gold has now risen to above 3,400. Yesterday, it was suppressed by the profit taking and 3,400 profit taking. Today, it broke through. So in the future, basically in the spot, gold will rise to 3,400. The next target price is 3,500. If it hits 3,500, it will directly see. So, don't be afraid of the fear of heights for gold. I don't think there's anything to be afraid. You need to look at the time dimension. Gold and silver, it's not something you can invest in for a year or two. It should be 3 to 5 years, or even 5 to 10 years. If you look at the short term, then you should not do these assets. Let's take a look at this NQ, the current NQ 100 futures. The Nasdaq 100 during the morning session was affected by Nvidia's market. It dropped 5% after yesterday's close. The entire semiconductor sector followed suit. So currently, Nvidia is currently rising against the trend. Climbing steadily, it's basically a buying on dips. Now, the people all over the world, the global people all know that the US stock market is to buy on dips. Buy on dips or buy on dips. What else can stop the rise of US stocks? In the short term, I said 10 minutes before the live broadcast, there are only a few uncertainties. If those uncertainties are finally eliminated, it's likely that the US stock market will rise another 600 points. It will hit a new high, reaching 6,000 SPX from the current 6,500. I think there's also a probability of this. So currently, the SPX futures are currently at 6,512. Basically, it is constantly hitting new highs, and continuous every day is a new high. It's either a new high or on the way to a new. So currently, from this level of 6,200, is currently a solid support. Currently, a short-term return to 6,000. It seems unlikely at present. Short-term break below 6,300. It's hard to see it at 6,380. Currently, the SPX, the S, is still very, very strong. Everyone must pay attention. However, from the past backtesting, the past 20 years of backtesting, some people say, I invest 5,000 yuan, but is it necessary to? Do you have to invest at a fixed time? From the past 20 years, or even stretching it to the past 30 years of SPX? As long as you have money, you can buy it. If you extend the time to more than 10 years, you will definitely earn more than. Or quarterly. You will earn much more. The premise is that you have money to buy. But try not to use leverage. So currently, for Q is currently up by 6.05%. And currently at 507. If it stays flat tomorrow, it may fluctuate between 575 and there's a small resistance above 580. After watching it, you will directly see a new high above 585. Next, let's look at SPY. Is also showing the same trend. It continues to hit new high and it keeps hitting new highs. I think for SPX, if the last correction is between September 19th and mid-October, if it continues until mid-October, it doesn't pull back, then SPX will directly reach 6,800 points. I think optimistically we can see 6,800 points, but if we are a little cautious, it may fluctuate between 6,500 and 6,600. The worst case, it will be around 6,400 points. So currently, in such AWTR is currently at this price. As I just mentioned, it is currently affected by the US jointly imposed sanctions on Iran. There's a wave of emotional pull-up. Brent is also in the same situation. VIX continues to decline and remains at a very low level. The forward VIX at 16 points, and the VIX will be around 21, 22, 26, about 22. The 9-day VIX has almost approached the historical extreme, the lowest point in the last year. It's 11.37. The low point was 10.16. But be careful. I drew a VIX. The new high of 52 weeks. It directly rose to 75 in April. So, be careful. It can rise by 30 or 40% in one day. In such a low volatility situation, I say again, don't go short. Don't short volatility or VIX. It can explode your VIX in a day. The future 1-month VIX is currently above 12.7. 52 weeks is 60. Don't go short either. So currently, the TLT, we can see that it directly rose from 8,586 yuan directly after the auction. It was directly pulled up in the long term. Is consistent with my overall judgment. I just mentioned the overall strategy. Sell put at 86.5, 86.85. Sell call at 87.5 or 88. Of course, the best ratio is 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Or you can directly buy TLT. Basically, you can get a 4.5% annual return. And with a rise in price, 10% a year is almost the same. 2-year U.S. Treasury is currently at 3.65%. Around 3.5 2-year Treasury bonds 10 years ago today. We can see that the long-end bonds are falling. The 30-year and 10-year bonds are both falling. Especially the 30-year bond fell. What does this show? This mainly depends on the market is currently pricing the long end. The pricing of correction. There may not be a further manifestation of pessimism. Maybe 5.5 or 5.1 is the ceiling. So, DXY, the biggest uncertainty, is currently at 97.82. So, DX currently, the overall market is maintaining my previous judgment, fluctuating between 98 and 100. There's nothing interesting about the fluctuation between. The biggest uncertainty comes from Japan. When will the Bank of Japan act, and whether it dares to do so? Put a question, put it here. Is fluctuating. Hang Seng is expected to move in. Google is expected to hit a new high. Google is currently further looking at new highs. It will return to the mean. Google will return to the mean. The mean reversion may be between 220 and 235. So in the past 3 or 4 months, we kept saying, buy Google, buy Google, buy Google. Google's price was 165, so now it has risen to 212. Google is still a very worthwhile investment. In the future, AI, I think, Nvidia is definitely than Google. Amazon, Microsoft will definitely stand out in a large proportion. So the best, if you are doing AR, in terms of layout, in this application, it's Google and Microsoft, and Nvidia is selling. That is Nvidia. Amazon is still on this path. It needs to return to its previous high, to return to 240 or even a 245. Amazon still has no problem. As for Apple, is slowly rising after Apple's surge in the stock market. It has risen rapidly. Basically, the tests below have been completed. 225, 227 have been. It can't fall, so the future is to see new highs. Apple has also seen above 250 with the release of iPhone 17 Pro Max. iPhone 17 Air released. Apple will continue to see new highs. Basically, the US stock market will not have a big, major black swan event. I don't see any other risks. So my current main focus are the stocks mentioned above. I need to keep an eye on them every day. There are about 50 or 60 stocks. Oracle, Broadcom, Google, Netflix, Dell, QQ, PepsiCo, Big, Coca-Cola, United Health Group, and Honda, Nvidia, Adobe, Lilly, Novo Nordisk, ASML, and Momo, UPS, and Tesla, and so on. Tesla has directly fallen below 345 today. Tesla fell today, but Tesla must have been influenced. Guidance from news from Europe. In the future, Tesla may still fluctuate at this price, but in the next 10 years, will definitely continue to hit new highs. I think in the next 10 years, Tesla may reach $1,000. With a market value of $1 trillion, Tesla may reach $5 trillion in the future. There's a possibility. The probability of this possibility. Yesterday, I also shared with you I shared it with you at the beginning of the live stream yesterday. How to buy stocks from the perspective of volatility. Yesterday, I specifically shared with you. I already said about CRWV, that the RV has reached its lowest point. Today, the RV has risen. You can see it very clearly. Don't sell RV when it's low. Don't buy RV. Just hold the underlying stock quietly. Or buy this stock quietly. Just wait quietly. Because currently, it has dropped by 190%. To 100, right, it has already fallen, but it has fallen by 45%. Basically, 85 is a very strong support recently. 85 to 95 is a very strong support in the future. We can look further up. First hit 120, and then look up to 135. So the current semiconductors are these stocks. The stocks above semiconductors, the top of the shovel sellers is TSMC. TSMC can also be considered. The ASME is above TSMC. Okay, today is Thursday, August 28, 2025. Now, it's 12:12 p.m. in Los Angeles time. There are 40 minutes to close. Basically, I have completed such all the FRCC's major asset reviews, including the entire change in option dealers, including the changes in the RV of Meta's options. Basically, my daily live broadcast, my daily intraday, you can review the past 1 to 3 months. Basically, very consistent with the expected market trend. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at the comments from our netizens. Once again, I hope you can actively like, comment, share, and subscribe to Baja's to give Baja the greatest support and encouragement. First, let's take a look at the first. I have a question. That is whether my current voice is clear and whether it is normal. Welcome to give feedback below. Next, let's take a look at the comments in the comment section. Currently, Tina Cheng said, Teacher, can I buy CIVI? I haven't studied this stock. I can't answer you. Amanda said that she made a profit on CRWV straddle. The buying price was 91, and sold it at 105. She thanked me after selling. It's okay, you can do straddle without any problem. Because, actually, if you do a vertical, you can earn. This one is better. Of course, a straddle more secure. After all, it's a double. You have also seen my video. I told you that the RV is it's suitable for doing such a straddle. The teacher's voice is good. Thank you, I hope. Everyone has commented. Okay, the voice is good. So, can I buy the current TRT? TRT is fine. I think the current TRT is below. Now is a very good time to build a position. You should hold it for at least 1 year. At least 1 year. Then the commander of the 7th Fleet of Mongolian Navy said, Teacher, how much can I buy Tesla? If you believe in him, and you recognize Tesla, you can buy it now. If you don't believe in him, don't buy a share. This is my opinion. If you believe in Elon Musk, and have pure faith in Elon Musk, you can buy it now. You watch Tesla's videos every day. Thank you, teacher. Can I add more to hold? I shared about hold yesterday. I think it's better to buy RBKR than HODA, or you can buy both. It's okay to buy both RBKR and HODA, but if I do it, I won't do it. I'd rather do RBKR. I wouldn't do HODA either. Professor said that if you allocate gold, GLD, the sound is on. There's a rustling sound. You can see the comments from netizens below. The sound is normal. The sound is normal. Okay, teacher. Can I open positions in BMNR1? It's the ETH's M, which is similar to MSTR's ETH. Right, you can pay attention to this. I think in terms of application, we'll go further than Bitcoin. But in terms of overall value, the value of Bitcoin should still be able to be seen in the long run. But the growth rate of the two may be different in the future, may not be the same. Of course, for BMNR, if there are good opportunities in price, I think it's worth doing. However, you need to have confidence and hold it for a longer time. Of course, if you want to be more stable, I think you should buy ETHI. ETHI should be better than BMNR. The sound is normal now. Okay, can we bet on MRVL's forecast? I don't do Marvel. It's too niche. I don't do the semiconductor. I don't do Marvel. It may have something called SK chip. Should I switch from TSL to the underlying stock? I never recommend holding any leveraged ETFs. There's only one exception. There's one exception. It's TQQQQ. TQQQQ. After decades of verification, and has the lowest wear and tear, it can be considered. I don't recommend any other leveraged ETFs. Thank you for your comment. You're welcome. RBK has entered this. That's right. So I think RBK is worth investing in. Good voice. Thank you. So, what is this, teacher? How much do you see of LRTE? I don't trade in small cap stocks. I don't trade in small cap stocks. so far are about the questions from netizens today. Question: I have basically given you relevant comments and reviews. So now, it's 12:16 p.m. in Los Angeles. There are 40 minutes left for the US stock market to close. Today, Namlo's Venutschap may only be at tomorrow, it may be between 17,177 and 18,2. There shouldn't be any major fluctuations because the last profit and the 10% residual value, because the option traders won't take it. I think they will take it all before leaving. The next wave will be placed at 919. Next wave, it will be placed in 919. If the price is low, you can directly do Tesla's vertical, or buy leap call options. Or do Tesla's British style. Vertical options may be more stable. Basically, let me reveal to you that I basically don't hold any stocks. Almost all of my positions are not in stocks. I use options as my substitute for my stock positions. Basically, all bloggers, I've checked other bloggers, they all hold 90% of their portfolios in stocks. I don't hold any stocks. I use options instead of stocks. Whether it's short-term options, 3 to 6 months medium-term options, or long-term options for more than a year, I always use options instead of stocks. Because in the options market, you can feel the charm of investment, including the daily time, which is taken into account. Options are a great hedge. And as a hedge against time decay, hedge product. Of course, you need 5 to 10 years of options experience. You can finally use this multifaceted option strategy. My options never have a single leg. Basically, they are 2-legged and 4-legged option strategies. Well, as for me is the entire market situation today. I've shared it with you. I hope you can actively like, comment, forward and subscribe to Baja's video and give Baja the greatest support and encouragement. See you in the market tomorrow. See you then, bye.